Beats Planet.
I'm trying to find it. I wasn't prepared. Hold on. There you go. There you go. One more time. Okay. What's happening, y'all? I understand what I promised y'all. I know I promised y'all a day after live stream type of deal. I understand what I promised y'all, but things happen. Things happen and time gets restricted, and we have to adjust and make it work. So I was gonna do this earlier in the day, but we just kind of got to do it a little bit later. My bad. I apologize. Let me pop out the chat. So this will be a shorter live stream. I'm putting this whole live stream on clock game, okay? But we will get these points out. Phones are indeed lit, and the show ain't long, so if you want to get on the phone because you ain't get in earlier, get in now because I gotta watch Monday Night Football because of like job obligation type stuff. But I'm still here to boogie with y'all. Just a handful of observations I made from I need my blue flame. I know, man. Shouts out to the essential workers, bro. I need my damn blue flame to be fixed, but I don't know, man. The internet messing up, but we gonna figure that out slowly but surely. We're gonna try to cut this thing off around 7:30 Central, but that should give us plenty of time. You get in, get on the phone, get out. We're not gonna hang around too long, but I do want to give my observations about our Dallas Cowboy W from last night. A couple nuanced observations after I've watched a little bit of film. Can't even put my headphones in. After I watched a little bit of film. But we're going to hold it down. We're going to hold it down. Let me just one more time, man. Just one for the coaches. Perfect. There you go. So a couple of things that I saw, right? A couple of things last night that we got on the Cowboy W. It was fun to win. It was fun to win. Don't get me mistaken. It was fun to win. Winning is always fun. And it is even dope that we won and we've maintained the top 4 picks. So all that goes into my list of positive things that happened last night. I do have some observations though. Y'all know on game day, I kind of get to be emotional, you know? On game day, I kind of just get to let my feelings flourish a little bit. But we got to bring this thing back to logic, okay? We got to bring this thing back down to true analysis. And I think a lot of y'all are here because y'all rocks with the objective analysis. I know I go hard on my opinions sometimes, but the facts are what the facts are. With that being said, the Cowboys did better yesterday. We did better. I think a lot of that was because it was matchup specific. I think we had a really good matchup versus the Vikings. Couple that with the notion of old bodies. We always talk about on this show that, you know, in the old neighborhood I come from, and a lot of y'all still kind of familiar with this talk, with this lingo, we have this thing called living off old bodies, to where you may have been something in 2018, but you're not that anymore. I think when we thought about the Minnesota Vikings, no matter how many games they may have won or lost this year, I think we were living them off old bodies. I still think in our mind, hey, like they may not be winning ball games, but they're still a super talented team. I think we thought that at some point. And part of that is true. But what I noticed in the parts where we were really good, they're really bad at. So it calls for the matchup, you know what I mean? Andy Dalton ain't incredible. We know that. Andy Dalton played well. That's cool. Our receivers did really well this game. I was like, I wonder why all our receivers did really well this game. Vikings DBs ain't great. The Vikings, corners. They're young corners right now. You know what I mean? They got some young corners. There's some young corners that's going to be good one day. If y'all been around my community during draft season, y'all know Cam Dancer from Mississippi State. And you know, what's his face? Cam Dantzler from Mississippi State. And Jeff Gladney from TCU. You know that those two guys exist, but they exist in a very rookie-like space to where they're going to be good corners for you. But Cam Dantzler one-on-one on Amari Cooper ain't good for his health. You know what I mean? I got a PayPal bing from Chris Mazzola. Shouts out to Chris Mazzola. He says, love your take on things. Keep up the good work. Salute to you, Chris Mazzola. Let me hit you one time with the, you know what I mean? Perfect. Not the perfect, with the other one. Not perfect. Damn, you. Damn it. Messing up my time. And thank you, Chris Mazzola, for dropping a dub in the PayPal, sir. Thank you. If you have a question, you have first dibs on questions. Go in the chat box or something, and I'll figure out who you are, and I'll answer your question directly. Thank you, sir. So I think we had the advantage in the wide receiver versus DB department. That made it very easy for Andy Dalton to find open guys. I always say if we have anything, we got nuanced route runners across the board. Even our fourth receiver is a pretty good nuanced route runner. And those rookie corners just wasn't able to deal with that. And to be fair, if I'm Andy Dalton, like I would spam Amari Cooper because I know Amari Cooper can route run his way in the victory. I know CeeDee Lamb can route run his way in the victory. We got to talk about Michael Gallup's drops at some point. We got to talk about that at some point since we're being honest and real up in here. We got to talk about it at some point. But those were a real thing, but we definitely had the advantage there. Also, I was talking to my homeboy, Said E. Fresh. He's more so of my Vikings insider. The Vikings offensive line was going through some injury deals, right? So that made us look a wee bit better on D-line, which made us a wee bit better at linebacker. Our linebackers played really good. We still got to tackle Dalvin Cook, right? We still got to tackle Dalvin Cook, and we did a pretty much a better job of doing that than we did last year. But the Vikings were able to beat the hell out of us last year because they were one-on-one blocking us and working the second level. You know what I'm saying? And once Dalvin gets to the second level, once Alexander Madison gets to the second level, it was just it just wasn't good for us. It wasn't good for us. That didn't happen this year because the offensive line that they had out there, it wasn't their whole first team offensive line. There was some guys missed the matchup in there. You know what I'm saying? And they weren't able to get to our linebackers as effectively. And we were able to make plays on the football. Something else I noticed too. To be fair, and y'all know I'm super happy on Sunday, but we tear all that shit down the day after because that's what coaches do, right? To be fair, this defense ain't great because this defense ain't great when teams misdirect our life away, right? Like when we were looking like the worst defense of all time, the first few offenses that we played against, like they misdirected our life away with the play action, with the counters, with the jet sweeps, the fake sweeps, all that kind of little stuff, the pre-snap motion and stuff, the trickery. There wasn't very much of that in this Vikings game. I mean, they had a little bit of stuff here and there, but they're more of a physical brand of football. You can put that on, Mike Zimmer or whatever, just putting his hands on it, just telling his offensive line what the hell to do. His offense coordinator, what to do. But I think if they would have hit us with a lot more misdirection, if they would have hit us with a lot more trickery, then our linebackers would look how our linebackers normally look. And the reason I say that because I don't think we were very dominant on the D-line. I think our D-line was really good in spots because like our guys are good. Like Randy, the 12 or so plays he played was good. D-Law was good. Antoine Woods was serviceable. Neville Gallimore was serviceable. Justin Hamilton from Natchez, he was pretty serviceable. But I just think the offensive line didn't do a great job of dealing with us. So it made us look better than what we really were. That's something that we got to work on moving forward. Anthony Brown was still bad. Anthony Brown was still bad. Cheeto didn't play a terrible game. Who else didn't play? Is it really coming off like I ain't trying to do it no more? Anthony Brown didn't have a terrible game. There was this other Robinson kid that ain't Reggie Robinson, but apparently we brought in some other kid who last name Robinson. The Lunatic dropped a deuce dinero in the super chat. He says, win first, figure out the draft later. Yo, Lunatic, that's all. Yo, that's cool enough. I'll try to get these picks, Playboy. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? My brother Lunatic, I feel you. I'm trying to win at all costs. But, hey, them draft picks, brother, you know what I'm talking about? You feel me? You know? I feel you, brother Lunatic. What else bad do I have to say before I get into all the good stuff? Yeah, the second Robinson kid, the imposter Robinson kid, that was hiding in the vents or whatever, like he was real Reggie Robinson. No, fam, I don't know where he got his spot from. So we got him up out of here. What else weird did we have? I got to watch a little more film on defense to fully dictate what's weird, but I'm saving that for my film session. So let me put that on pause. I'm going to be watching Donovan Wilson. I'm definitely going to be watching Jalen Smith to see what he did different this week. O-line and some other things like that. What else bad can I say before we move on? We won the football game, and Andy Dalton just Andy Dalton got to be better. To be a veteran, hey, look, Andy Dalton won us the game, and he got us a little drive at the end, but he almost picked that thing off like 5 times last night, so that's what that was. But I think that's all I got bad for y'all. Let's talk about some good things, right? Andy Dalton won us the football games. So let's give him some credit for that. You made me feel. Andy Dalton did do that. Our running situation seemed to look a lot better, but I think the run game was simply a product of our offensive line being so much better. Let's just give it up one more time. You make me feel. I think that we have to be realistic with ourselves about Mike McCarthy and how pissed off we should or should not be with him. You know, it seems like I don't necessarily hate when this happens because I get it. But on the internet, especially new internet where people are more sheepish than they've ever been, somebody can make a good point on the internet, and then the person that they're telling it to, if they disagree with it, they can easily just say something like, why should I listen to you? You're not an NFL head coach. You're not a GM, boom, boom, boom. And I'm not just speaking on me. This could be Law Nation talking to people on the internet. This could be Foots talking to people. This could be Latrell Jones or Lee McClain, Tay, Jessica. This could be Anthony Ray talking to somebody on the internet. Oh, why should I listen to you? You're not an NFL coach. You're not an NFL GM. But I find it interesting. They say those things. From day one, we've been saying, yo, man, Terrence Steele probably not going to be the guy. And because I'm giving everybody credit for this. Everybody since day one has been saying Terrence Steele is not that guy. I'm going to give me some credit and say since day zero, Voch been saying Terrence Steele ain't that guy. And I don't want to be told you so guy because I think told you so guy is getting corny. I want y'all to hold me accountable and help me rehab my way out of being told you so guy. I think the world is better when told you so guy doesn't exist and take an L guy doesn't exist. So y'all please help me work through being told you so guy. But I don't have to be an NFL level head coach to tell you that, yo, Terrence Steele probably not it. Terrence Steele is probably not the guy. And I know Zach Martin is good enough to play tackle. He's good enough to play anywhere on his offensive line. So let's put McGovern at guard and Zach Martin at tackle. And let's see what happens. Right? I lost respect for Joe Looney, ever since I seen Ndamukong Suh in that Rams game pick him up and drop him on Zeke's head or whatever. Nobody's done that to Tyler Biadasz so far, right? So it seems like when we recommend these kind of things, right? Like, oh, Darian Thompson. I remember how bad Darian Thompson was so bad, Cowboy fans wanted Jeff Heath back in the game. And I sound like a broken record when I say these things, but it's just interesting when they get into place. When Donovan plays, he looks good. When Zach is at right tackle, he looks good. When McGovern is at right guard, we look good. Biadasz is going to be back, and he should be right back at center when he comes back. Looks good. You know what I'm saying? At what point do we look Mike McCarthy in the face like, yo, fam, I don't know who's evaluating talent in y'all's circle, but we got to stop. We got to stop. But you up in my line chance you going so if you're going to say it. Okay. Something got to stop here. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to cry about that too long, but I think Zach Martin is so good. Zach Martin can play right guard, right tackle, left tackle. I think Zach Martin can play anywhere because he's really good with his movement. He's not the best mover on his line. I still think Leal moves better than him, but he's a great practical mover. Sometimes you can have great feet and not know how to use it. I think Zach Martin maximizes his movement ability. You know what I'm saying? I think Zach Martin has maximized his dexterity to where every time La'el Collins move, something go wrong, right? There was this long period of time where y'all will watch my show and you'll hear me like get pissed off at La'el Collins because he keep missing with his hands. Well, there's a difference between punching someone when your hand starts like this and punching someone when your hands start like that. That's a dexterity issue. That's from the left side of the O-line to the right side of the O-line, right? I've seen Zach Martin throughout his entire career make moves on the opposite side on the opposite sides of the offensive line, and he'll be fine. So in my mind, let's just keep Zach Martin active in his movement across the line. I made a tweet today. I was like, "Yo, fam, at some point, if Tyron Smith wakes up with a headache and he wants to retire, I feel good about Zach at left tackle, Williams, Biadasz, McGovern, Collins. If that's my offensive line, I feel good about it because I feel good about Zach Martin playing that. You see what I'm saying? And that's considering that we don't draft a guy. If we draft somebody, then just put Zach Martin right back at right guard and we'll move on with our life. But I think Zach Martin can make the Pro Bowl at tackle because he's fantastic. That film session's coming. But yeah, I think simply the subtraction of Terrence Steele, cutting that dead weight. You lose 5 pounds, you run faster. You lose 5 more pounds, you jump a little higher. You know, I think you get Terrence Steele up out of here. You cut that little dead weight off. Your offensive line plays better. Your quarterback doesn't get hit as much, and your run game looks a little better. You know, I hadn't seen Terrence Steele reach block anybody since we started. Zach Martin is a reach blocking fool. You know what I mean? One time for the what? Fool. You make me feel. Zach Martin makes all those blocks, man. I'll break that down a little bit later, but I don't know. Moving forward, we'll just have to see where we at, man. We'll just have to see what's going on. Another advantage that I think we had over the Vikings is I don't think the Vikings had a really good pass rush to start with, you know? So Joe Looney looked good this week, but, you know, he looked good against the Vikings D-line that doesn't have the bodies that the old guys have, you know? Everson's not there. Daniil Hunter wasn't playing. Long last name that starts with an O guy played a little bit. But Cameron Fleming's been cool, you know? The interior guys in the Vikings ain't the same. Like, that D-line just isn't what it is. We're going to line up against the Washington football fellas, and it's going to look totally different. Like, that D-line is good today. The Washington football brother mans are good right now. You know what I'm saying? So we got a big task ahead of us. We got a big to be fair, I would rather move Zach Martin back at right guard in this game, to be fair, because Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne are on the inside. Chase Young is going to be on Fleming. There's nothing you can do about that. But I would rather sweat on Terrence than one of them gangsters on McGovern. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would guess I would have to sit back and think about that a little bit more. But we're gonna have to find a combination. Whatever combination works. In my personal opinion, I would rather us keep Zach Martin at right tackle and just take our lumps with Connor McGovern. If Connor McGovern can't block, if he can't block Payne and them, Payne and Allen or whatever, I mean, fine, cool. We'll just find a way to work a double team in there with Looney somehow. I don't know, but it's gonna be a totally different D line than it was last last week. So we'll see. Yo, Donovan Wilson, nice, fam. Yo, Donovan Wilson, nice, B. Yo, Donovan Wilson is. Let me play it again, man. You make me feel. So what I want from Donovan Wilson, though, and I just want everybody to be fair to Donovan Wilson. Just because he made a couple of big hits, it doesn't mean that Donovan Wilson is the next coming of Cam Chancellor or the next coming of Troy Polamalu. I think Donovan will still have his problems. Even in this game, in this Vikings game, you don't want Donovan Wilson moving backwards necessarily, but he's a gangster when he's moving forward. He's a gangster when he's moving when he's going downhill, that's ball game. So in my mind, what we need is a free safety behind him and just let that dude play strong and let Xavier Woods go to Kansas City with the rest of us, or the Raiders with the rest of us. You see what I'm saying? With the rest of the Cowboys. I don't know. But I think Donovan's gonna be fine in his role. He's a wood layer, but we knew that though. Go watch my Donovan Wilson film session somewhere. Like, we knew he was a wood layer. We know he can come in and play nickel corner sometimes and cover tight end sometimes, but I even think he could play free safety in a pinch. I don't want him playing free safety all the time. That's just what that is. Let me check my time before I get going. We good on time. We got 36 minutes in the show left. We're going to get all these phones in, so y'all just hang tight on that. Hey, yo, look, the phone's lit right now. Get in right now, because when they're gone, they're gone. 515-606-5187, access code 309-104. Yeah, get on the phones now, because this show ain't going to be too long. Thank you, Jess, for keeping me on task there. Derek Allen made a great point, and I'll tell you why I retort that. Connor McGovern already played against the Redskins and the Washington Football Wizards, and he held up no pressures or sacks. My only problem with that is And I know this because I can look at Connor Williams, right? Connor Williams with Tyler Biadasz is really, really good. Connor Williams with Joe Looney is a different animal. You see what I'm saying? So when we go back and watch film on Connor McGovern versus Washington, it was a big fight. But Connor McGovern worked really well within the structure of the offensive line, within the scheme of the offensive line. All those guys working together, they got the job done. Joe Looney's not a good help guy. Say amen in the chat if y'all heard me say help guy. You know what I mean? If you heard me say that term before. Tyler's a better help guy than Joe Looney is. And you're going to need all the help guys you can, blocking this D-line or whatever. You see what I'm saying? I don't think Joe's a good help guy. Can you explain the difference between Harrison Smith hit and Wilson hit? Because Smith got flagged? Yo, sir, that's a very nuanced question. Shaq, the Vikings fan, that's a very nuanced question. That would require me to go back and watch the Harrison hit, then go back and watch the Wilson hit next to each other, and then write down some notes. So I may have an answer for you by Wednesday. But come on, fam. I think it's time to take some calls. I said all that to say, we did pretty well in the and they stay there. We did pretty well. Take a fun. We did pretty well versus the Vikings, man. But I think matchups make fights, man. And Shaq is a Vikings fan, and me and Shaq kind of shared a moment on the last show to where, yes, Kirk Cousins' stats checked out. Kirk Cousins' numbers added up. Kirk Cousins' QBR was cool. But I trust my eye test a little bit. I don't think Kirk Cousins was great. And when I said that, everybody was like, yo, Voch, what you mean Kirk was boom, 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 boom? But me and Shaq just kind of had a moment for a second. We was like, yeah, man, Kirk did this, but I don't think Kirk played great. You know what I'm saying? And Kirk, played like somebody was chasing him or whatever. We weren't chasing him, but, like Kirk made his throws. His throws were cool, but I don't know, man. Kirk just didn't have an amazing game to me. I don't know, man. I'm not going to keep saying it because it sounds like I'm hating on Kirk Cousins, but whatever. We're going to hop into the phones, though. We got a couple amens in the chat. Nothing too crazy. Some light in the chat. Let me see how many people we got watching live before we go to the phone. We got 401 people watching live. I'm glad y'all are here chilling with me. You could have been anywhere in the world. There will not be a post-game show Thursday. I'm going to be with my family like y'all damn should be. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to be going live Thursday, but I will have some content that I'm going to do, oh my goodness, tonight, tomorrow, and the day after. I'm going to have some content lined up. I'm just going to be releasing throughout the week, but there will not be a live stream. There will not be a post-game show Thursday. We'll get back to that, the next week or so. But anyway, let's get into the phones, man. Let's get into the phones, and let's see. Let's start with Jess, man. Let's get Jess up in here. Let me grab my volume controls and get Jess up in here. Let's make sure she's feeling okay too, though. What's up, Jess? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. That water is cranberry apple grape. You hear me? Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Let's smash some more watermelon. How about the smash some watermelon tree?
Watermelon, yeah.
What?
Yeah. Talk to him.
We need to keep smashing them watermelon. That's what I'm talking about. Let's keep this winning thing going. I ain't talking about no tanking. Y'all get up out the chat, talk about this tanking. Get out the chat, talk about trade. Get out the chat, being negative, period. Baby, our boys won.
Yeah.
Let's keep the winning thing going. That's what I say.
Right.
It's time to keep being hyped. Ain't no time for the negative talk. And another thing, baby, we don't even know if we're going to get a chance to field draft. And y'all talking about Zeke had to recover like COVID like I am. If you ain't had COVID, don't keep talking about that man. That man had to get his body back right. That man had to work and get his body back healthy and get back into shape again.
Right.
Y'all don't understand. Today I got weak while I was walking to my mailbox.
Right.
So you don't know what COVID is to have COVID, then shut your mouth and keep your mouth out, period.
Right.
And he ain't the only player on on our team that had COVID. It was other players that had COVID. So if you don't know what it is to have COVID, then you need to recover from it. Then you need to shut your mouth and be thanking and praising God that we got Zeke.
Right.
Because Zeke did a work of art as well. Zeke ran the ball, TP ran the ball, and they worked together and got a touchdown together.
Right.
So it wasn't no one-man show. Zeke ain't the one talking. You act like Zeke's the one saying he's the best player on the team.
Right.
Jerry Jones running his mouth. He can owner, he can say whatever he wants. So stop attacking our players, man, and give them props.
Yeah.
Where profits do. They work together and they won the game.
Right.
That's what we want. And quit talking about I want a first round pick. I want a second round pick. You ain't picking nobody. You ain't playing these people to play football.
Watermelon. Yeah, right.
And stop talking about the draft when you want a draft pick. Because, baby, when we got CD Lamb, we got a great pick. When we got Donovan Wilson, we got a great pick. When we got Diggs, we got a great pick. So stop all the stupid talk, man. Stop all the talking about I want a tank. We ain't taking jack. We're trying to go for winning the season out. We're trying to go for third place. We're trying to see our boys go to the top because they can as long as they keep fighting. You don't work, you don't win. But when you get out there and work together as one, like I've been telling them, like I've been saying for our boys to do, come on, rejoice, my people, and stop being negative. Good night. That's all. I'm sorry.
Ain't no way in hell you got COVID, woman. You got too much daggum energy, girl. Listen, Jess, listen. Drink your orange juice. Drink your orange juice. Take your vitamin D capsules and get you some rest, woman. You understand me? Get you some rest. Get you some sleep. Thank you, Jess.
You're welcome.
Just say, listen, I got COVID, but and I'm like, just there's no way that the COVID is not compromising your immune system at all. You seem to be doing just fine. Hey man, let me hit it one time, but just go ahead and get about it. You know what I'm saying? Let me just, you know what I'm talking about? Just don't be playing with y'all, man. This is what I like about just come on my show and shoot at me sometime. Don't be talking about no draft. Don't be talking about no draft right now. And I be like, oh, I'm draft, but I'm draft guy. I gotta talk about draft. What else? What talking about some draft? Okay, you all right, cool, all right, you got it, sis. You got it. Thank you so much, Jess. We need your energy. We need your strength. We need all that, man. We need all that. Let me just one more time. And then like every time the clock go off and just catch herself, you always hear just giggling because she always catch herself at the and just start giggling. Come on, Zach. All right, let's get into these phones, man. We got let's lock them.
The conference has been locked.
We got a little time on this thing. We got Brandon from Frankly Football up next. The Lunatic on deck. Brother Joe Sandberg in the hole. Let's boogie. Brandon, what's happening, sir?
Man, Voch, I apologize for getting disconnected yesterday. I felt like we was having a good dialogue.
Well, sir, that's what happens when you get salad dressing on your thumb and it smears all over the daggum phone like that, sir. So just dry your hands off before you start clicking on it today. And we can finish what we were saying yesterday, sir. You know what I'm saying?
I remember exactly where we were. You asked how I felt about Cheeto.
Okay, go ahead.
So here's the thing. I wouldn't mind bringing Cheeto back.
Right.
He's kind of in that same situation where I feel about Anthony Brown right now.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm always a guy who is not afraid to admit when I was wrong. I was never a huge Anthony Brown fan. Now I feel like, given his new situation, I have a newfound appreciation for him.
Right.
So if we draft a corner, you know, relatively high in the draft, Cheeto wouldn't be tasked with going up against the other team's number one guy. He might be going against their third best guy, you know, most of the time. Who knows? So I would be comfortable with having Cheeto in that situation. So that means bringing him back on a 2-3 year deal while he tries to secure his his funds a little bit more for his next contract, then so be it.
If we bring Cheeto back cheap,
But
do we
I
have
would
to
think-
draft corner at all?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, so yes.
I'm comfortable with Cheeto guarding the other teams. I'm comfortable with Cheeto guarding the other teams like number 2, number 3 guy. I still want to bring in some new young talent because, I mean, we've seen where this secondary has still had its challenges, even when he's back.
I think if we sign Cheeto, I think the priority goes down a little bit to where we may not spend the first round on him. Like if it's a BPA situation, sure. Like we wouldn't spend a first rounder on him, but if we can get a nickel corner that I like in the third round or something like that to go along with Cheeto and Diggs, I think that'll be a very complimentary situation, sir.
Definitely. That brings me to ask the question that us as film evaluators have to ask.
Sure.
Is there a guy we could take in the second, maybe even third round, who would end up in a situation like Trevon Diggs, a guy who is, much better than his drafted position tells? That might be where we see ourselves, and I'm okay with that.
You know something so interesting about cornerback and draft in particular? First of all, there's plenty of cornerbacks in this draft. This is one of the bigger years to draft a cornerback. So, that's good news for us. But if you I was watching film from last year, right? Patrick Surtain is one of the corners that's going to be drafted this year. He's the cornerback from Bama, and he was playing with Diggs last year. And when you watch that film, Diggs looks like the better guy. And Diggs ended up being the second round pick of the two. So I can't even promise you that the cornerback that Cowboy Nation likes so much, it ain't even a promise that he's even going to be in conversation for the first round pick. He might be a second round guy. I don't think he's going to be a second round guy, but I just know how draft works. And I know this the time of year where we hype everybody, where everybody is a first round pick, where Cardell Jones and Paxton Lynch and Brad Kaya are first round picks. But once all the truth gets weeded out, then we figure out who's really like the later round guys or whatever. I think it's going to be a really good cornerback that we like right now. That's going to be available for you, especially if we keep losing games and our second round pick is like 38 or something. I think it's going to be a really good corner sitting at 38 for us.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I'm a big fan of the guy, the kid. I think he played for Virginia Tech.
Farley.
Opted out.
Caleb Farley, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, huge fan of him.
Okay.
A lot of people seem to think that he's like the third or fourth best corner. I disagree. I think that he's 1A. I'm a huge fan of him.
But
it's going to be options out there.
But in this class, though, Brandon, third best corner just is what it is. I think it's like 5 guys that's in the same tier. You know what I mean? And how you like them is going to mostly depend on what scheme you running. You see what I'm saying? To where one corner may be a really good zone dude, but Cowboys trying to run press man, and the better press man guy may be number 1 for us, but maybe number 4 for somebody else. So it's getting real tricky when we talk about corners and draft. But I hate cutting you off, sir. I sincerely apologize. Go ahead.
It's your shirt. It's your show, dog. It's
That's
your
fair.
world. I'm just living in it.
That's fair. Let me cut you off again, then, since that's I'm playing. Go ahead.
But no. I love that we were able to remember a couple of weeks ago when we talked about Donovan Wilson. This is way back when we were talking about why isn't he getting on the field.
Sure.
But now we've seen that he's gotten on the field and he's kind of filled that hole at strong safety.
Yes.
That's cool because even though you can find a strong safety, relatively later on in the draft, that's just another position that doesn't have to be on the radar.
Yeah.
So I love that. It drops the number of priority positions on the defense.
Sure.
Because if right now I think we got like 9 picks in the draft so far.
Yeah.
If we can boost that up to 11, 12 in this year by trading back, then cool. That's more positions that we can fill. That's more needs that can be fulfilled in this draft to help us rebound ASAP.
Right.
Go
ahead. No, go ahead. No. There was just this pause, and I thought you was done, but you had a little bit more. Go ahead, sir.
I was going to say, as far as safeties go, of course, free safeties are always going to be more valuable. But I'm glad to see that we finally have a guy on the back end of the defense that we can at least partially rely on.
Sure. Tone setter. Finds the football because we know that he finds the football and he got ball skills or whatnot. It just feels good to see him playing and to just see him get going. You know what I mean? Finally.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I still do think that we need a gangster back there. Get us a what's the best way to say it? I don't want to say a ball hawk, but a guy who can
rangy
be at the
center
right place
field
in the
free
right
safety,
time.
like a rangy center field high IQ free safety. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's something that we still need. If they draft that, great. But if they decide to go a guy up front who can do what we were planning for the defensive front to do at the beginning of the season,
right?
Supply a whole bunch of pressure, help out these guys in the back end, and that's great as well. The world is our oyster at that point.
Sure. The world is our oyster. Sure. That's all you got?
And I think that's all I got, man. That's all I got.
All right, then, man. It's cool. Appreciate you. I would linger on this longer, but we got 18 minutes till football. Football probably on now, but I got 18 minutes, so I got to go watch. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, this is Brandon, one half of Frankly Football on YouTube. Y'all go check that out. Set it off. Chris, he's in the chat box right now. He's the other half of Frankly Football. He normally sets it off. The phone's locked, so he ain't setting it off today. But go check those two gentlemen out. I stamped them. All right? Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you, man. Salute.
Appreciate you. Peace.
I said appreciate y'all like both of them was on the phone. So listen, y'all, we got 17 minutes left in the show, and we got 5 callers. I think we can get to everybody. Just everybody got to be, considerate of their call space, but we gonna boogie. We gonna boogie and see what we have here. And my mouse is clicking. It's not clicking. There we go. Brother Lunatic, what's happening? K-Pop Soul.
Buenas noches, Voch. How are you, Cowboys Nation?
Man.
Finally, another Victory Monday.
Yes, sir. What your water tastes like?
And what have we been... Oh, it's nice and fresh, especially, like I said, especially with T-steel. Aluminum foil out of there. We've been saying it for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen how defenses shift the line to get them on one-on-one situations.
Yes, sir.
So that they know that's going to be a win.
Yes, sir.
You could see from the first start that Dalton had, he's like, hike. Oh, let me look over there, T-steel side, see if his guy hasn't beat him yet because I've got to run away from him.
Yes.
Now he had more time. Helen Moore looked like a better play caller because, hey, you know what? You win it in the trenches. You give your quarterback time. You give your running backs some lanes to go through and move them off the ball. Granted, the Minnesota defensive line isn't the same.
Mm-hmm.
But can we build on that? Yes.
Yeah.
You can still see why we're saying, okay, let's move McGovern. Hell, you used a third-round pick on him.
Sure.
That means he was top 100.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you seeing it? Now, Donovan Wilson, same thing. We said, hey, this ain't working with Thompson. What are you seeing in practice that is saying, no, Thompson is my better player? And you put him on there. He made some plays, and the running back and Thielen, they remembered him.
Well, Lunatic, what I think it is, Mike McCarthy is a good coach. I think he's good at putting together his organization structurally. But I think talent evaluation, if it's not in place for him already, I think he got problems evaluating players. But luckily for us, we have a staff of guys to evaluate players. That's what Will McClay does. You know what I'm saying? But boy, if it's just up to Mike McCarthy to pick who's better, I don't feel really good about that. But we'll see. We'll just cross that road later.
And they can always say we're waiting for the bye week. We're waiting for the bye week. Sometimes you got to do it within the week.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with talent evaluators. But I mean, the one thing that bothers me is Gallup and his 2 drops.
Yes, sir.
Why is he catching it with his body?
Yes, sir.
I mean, Dalton's going to be in there sometimes, and those drops kind of hurt. Luckily, they didn't come back to bite us. But, yes, Dalton, you've got to remember, off of concussion, off of COVID, yes, it's the bye week. But how many reps? The first week, they were off.
Mm-hmm.
So how many reps did he get? He's going to be a little bit rusty. But that 4th down pass to Coop, and props to that announcer, he called it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I get Coop in the slot, open him up, there it is, there's a pass.
Yeah.
So even he knew this is what I want. Dalton threw it, the pass to Lamb, release before it made its cut, anticipation, boom. Lamb got it. That touchdown pass, though, was a great adjustment by CD.
Sure.
But I'm just saying, whoa, that looked like he was going for the spot, and maybe CD cut it short a little bit. But it was a great catch. It was a great game overall. Again, that's what I want to see. Even if we're eliminated, just make progress. I'd rather have a 7-9, 6-10 team and saying, hey, you know what? We're closer. We've got some additions. And yes, I agree with you about the players. But look at the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is not only first rounders, second rounders.
Yeah.
It's mainly the other round.
Yeah.
You've got to get the best out of your players, and that to me means coaching. Prepare them up, and then, as McCarthy said, putting them in positions to win.
Lunatic, man, I hope we win ball games. Technically, I do hope we improve. I think there's a lot of ways to improve. Like, let's just play Reggie Robinson and see what happens. I think we improve that way. Either Reggie's going to get better with playing experience, or we know what Reggie can and cannot do. I think we do improve there. But, boy, Lunatic, I need my picks, man. I know you want to win ball games, Lunatic, but I need my picks.
I think there's a correction. I think we have 10 or 11 picks already because of the comp picks.
Sure.
We do have about 10 or 11.
We got about 9 of them. I think we traded away 2 that put us down to 5, and then we got like
That's
4
why I'm
back.
rooting. I'm rooting for Everson Griffin. Hey, ball out in Detroit. Make that 6th rounder turn into a 5th rounder.
Everson Griffin ain't going to get us
Dalton, until we're eliminated, hey, play on there, put some film where a team will sign you and we get a higher comp pick.
Everson Griffin and Andy Dalton going to get us a 9th round pick, Lunatic, a 2030 9th round pick. Messing with them. But I do think there's something to building culture. I do think there's something to team building. But I think that can be done with showing up, playing well, and we just happen to lose. It's a weird slope, though. It's a weird slope. I just want what's best for the team. We both want what's best for the team, though. And to be fair, the rest of the schedule ain't looking good, so we might just end up winning games anyway. So we'll see what happens.
Only the Ravens game is the one. Even the Niners. You can say the Niners, well, we're still going to have them at home. They're still beat up. So the only one that I'm thinking a loss right now is the Ravens. So just play until you're eliminated and make improvements. But hey, we need McCarthy to come out with another sledgehammer and watermelon, and for D-Law to say that one is mine. Keep balling out like he's been balling out.
I just need Mike McCarthy to properly evaluate the player. If he properly evaluate the player, then we would have won more games than damn 3 of them. But anyway, that's just my take.
That's right. Because now I'm wondering about an eye.
Yeah, Bradley Knight could be a gangster. Bradley Knight could be he could be better than Dorrance Armstrong, but we'll never know.
Yeah, Dorrance is
know.
a body out there.
But we'll never know. Yeah,
keep it up. Like I said, let's get this win against the what the F's on Thanksgiving. Cowboys Nation, stay safe, and let's go Cowboys.
Washington Football Wizards, man. Appreciate you, brother Lunatic. Call us back next week. Well, we're gonna be with our family next week, but the week after that, call me back. Appreciate you, sir.
Got it.
Yeah. We got Brother Joe up next. DJ on deck. Raider Bob in the hole. Love Raider Bob. You understand? Let's get Brother Joe Sandberg up here. What's up, Brother Joe?
Hey, what's up?
Coolin', my guy.
It actually felt a little refreshing to win on Sunday, a little bit.
Sure.
But boy, did Andy Dalton try to be that third imposter.
He did. That motherfucker was hiding in that vent, trying his best. Joe, he was trying his best to get them imposters to beat us, dog. But it just wasn't enough. And I think that was because the Vikings just weren't good. I think if the Vikings were a little better, I think Andy Dalton would have successfully, accidentally handed them the game away. Successfully, but accidentally. Because he still threw the ball to the other team like 3 times. They just dropped it. They just dropped the football. But
right. Even that last drive, he threw it like right to Cam Dantzler. I was like,
Sure.
wow.
We just couldn't hold on to it. What else you got, Joe?
Oh, I do think we do get an interesting bit better when we actually decide to play Zach Martin at right tackle. It seems to let the defense also play better, not having to be out there so often.
Right.
And as far as these picks, I don't get it. I still would like to trade down. Don't get me wrong, especially if you get the right package, because especially you can start stacking in more of those like top 100 picks. I don't think people don't get why, particularly if you get more second rounders, more third rounders.
Well,
of how
Joe,
valuable that could be.
Well, Joe Sandberg, let me just say this, sir, and I haven't said this to you yet, but I'm gonna say it live. I trust your draft acumen. I trust your draft evaluation, sir. So shouts out to you, because I don't trust a lot of people. I trust yours, and I know you've been watching a little bit of film, and you can tell the good people right now you would much rather want more picks between 12 and 50 this year than one of the top 7 or so.
Hey.
You know?
Yeah, especially because your options seem to open up more.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this happen throughout countless drafts.
Sure. Plus some
actually,
of the guys we want. Plus, some of the guys we want are in positions to where they play a spot to where they just end up going later in the draft. Like we may be looking at safety, we may be looking at one tech, we may be looking at Sam linebacker, we may be looking at nickel corner. Those go later, opposed to top 5 or so. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that's gonna help us out. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, that's absolutely correct.
Sure.
Because like this last few drafts, like some of them haven't gone till second round, like first like some safeties.
Sure.
And one tech is kind of tricky because you need like a freak athlete for one of those to be taken in round 1, like a Vita Vea, a Tyron Payne, and guys like that.
Yeah.
And as far as like what I would rather do, with some of these things I would like to do is I would actually like to bring back Cheeto.
Sure.
And then I got to prioritize my second round to a couple other things depending on where we're at.
One tech, safety, linebacker. Sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or that, or just like the fast draft, you might actually have one of these first round guys actually just slip right under the radar.
Sure.
That play edge.
Sure.
Like, who knows? You might be able to have like a Basham there.
Sure. Fair enough, Joe. And something else I need to before I let you go, because we got 7 minutes on the clock. I want to see who's gun under the seat guy this year. I want to see who's, I got friends that rob liquor stores and my draft stock fell a little bit. You know what I mean? Or just somebody that got like I know Cowboy fans don't like injured players, but modern medicine is different, right? So like a guy like Jeffrey Simmons, like a 3-tech when he was in Mississippi State, tore his ACL, gun under the seat guy, kidnapped my best friend guy. First round talent, top 10 talent, but he fell to the Titans when they're 20-something pick. I want one of those dudes. Yo, Joe Sandberg, we run a long time, but I appreciate you for calling. Yo. Hit me back next week, fam.
Oh, I actually got a couple of those guys in mind.
Go ahead. Quickly.
For what I've been hearing, Micah Parsons.
Parsons gun under I did hear Parsons is pull a gun on my teammate guy. I heard. But Joe, before I hang up on you, Joe, because you draft guy, I wonder, is Parsons pulling a knife and a gun and choking my teammate connected to the Penn State Hayes freshman and grabbing they thing parts scandal? I want to know if those two are connected. That might be interesting. Joe, I got to hang up on you, though, man. I got 5 minutes and 50 seconds left. Sure. Appreciate it, Joe. I want to know if those things are connected. Appreciate it, Joe. I want to know if Micah Parsons was a freshman and one of them Penn State upperclassmen tried to grab his thing and haze him, but he a big strong cat, so he might end up choking somebody and pulling a gun on him. You know, I just want to know if that's a thing. I want to know if that's a thing. We got 3 callers. We got 5 minutes. I ain't going to lie. Raider Bob going to get most of this because Raider Bob is incredible. But DJ and Dante, don't go nowhere. Raider Bob, what's happening?
Tell me how you sing. What you singing?
You make me feel. You make me feel.
Woman.
You make me feel like a natural woman.
Exactly. Now, see, I did. Yes. I did your thing last night. I'm going, oh man, and you singing, and I'm crying. I'm crying because the Raiders lost, but they played a hell of a game.
Yeah. Yeah, they did, man. And you know what?
the
You know what?
Cowboys-
You know what they're right about? Division games are always weird, and the Raiders may have, like a up on the Chiefs or whatever. It's just that like Pat Mahomes is like really good, but like the Raiders may have some formula to keep them in games like that. So that's good for y'all.
Yeah, and I can't figure out. I don't think it's Abrams' fault that Kelsey caught that pass in the end zone.
Nah,
I think
Kelsey.
they might have been.
Right.
Huh?
No, go ahead.
I think they might have been in a different coverage, like
Sure.
like well, I just think it might have been a different coverage because he was zipping down there to like the middle of the field. I don't think Kelsey was his man.
Right.
But I don't know whose man he was. Breakdown and coverage.
Right. Yo, Raider Bob, how you liking Jeff Heath over there? Cowboys fans used to have him, and they were very ungrateful about him. Go ahead.
I think he intercepted two passes last week.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah. Hey, that guy you were talking about earlier, Donnelly or
Donovan Wilson. Was that? Donovan Wilson. Yeah.
All right, I'll take him if Abrams keeps screwing up.
And that's funny because Cowboy fans would rather have Jonathan Abram. That's interesting. What else you got, Raider Bob? We got 3 minutes left. What else you got?
No, that's it, man. I know you're pressed for time, so you just go on ahead and do your thing.
Enjoy your Monday Night Football.
Keep
Enjoy
smiling.
your family for the holidays, Raider Bob. Talk to me next week.
You too. You be careful now.
100% for shizzle.
Yeah.
Raider Bob definitely shoot dice in the bathroom, man. We got 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the show. We gonna boogie. DJ, what's happening?
What's going on, Voch? Hey, man, I just want to say that my water this week is like tap water because it's like, or well water, because it's water, but I think long term it's going to give me kidney stones. I had a thought last night that's going to terrify me. Basically, with CeeDee Lamb is going to be a gangster,
Yeah.
and we don't have to pay him long term,
Good.
3-4 years from now. So I really want those picks even more so because he's going to get $20-25 million by the time he comes around for a contract, man. So
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, I really want those picks now. I'm happy for a win. I'm not taking anything away from it. It was time. I forgot what it felt like. But, man, I just don't know. And I think Randy Gregory is like, you know how back in the day when Khalil Mack and Von Miller were killing it, but Aaron Donald was over there doing the gangster things, and anybody who really knew football was like, hey, Aaron Donald's the one that you need to be watching. I think Randy Gregory is on that path. Maybe he doesn't get the height that Aaron Donald has, but from what I saw last night, he won every matchup on every play he was in the game. From every that I saw.
Yeah.
I didn't see everything. I was watching it as a consumer, but he was just flashing across. He even ran himself out of plays on a couple of them just because he beat his guys so quickly. But I know you're pressed for time, man, so that's all I got for today.
Appreciate you. We'll talk about it. We will look at that film, man. But when it's time for CD to get that money, we got to pay him. But we got a long time before we think about that. Appreciate it, DJ. Moving on. We got 1 minute and 19 seconds before I got to get up off this daggone phone. Dante, you the last one on the clock, man. What's happening with you, man?
What's up, baby boy? How you doing?
Man, I'm cooling, my guy. What you got for the show?
Hey, man, listen. I wanted to just give observation. Just straight observation.
Uh-huh.
Here's what I see. Linebacker play does not exist in football hardly anymore.
Okay.
The way linebackers used to play, the impact they used to have in the game, it's not there. Now, I know you're a young man, but any guy that's my age or older, we can see the game is not the same.
Sure.
And that is what I think has changed defense and the lack of defense because players can't play the way they used to be able to play.
Sure.
Linebacker play and a lot of good safety play. Like, I'm convinced that Kenny Easley or, great safeties like Ronnie Lott, they wouldn't be great players in today's game.
Sure.
I'm totally convinced linebackers like Ray Lewis wouldn't be Ray Lewis in today's game. Patrick Willis wouldn't be Patrick Willis in today's game because all these guys can run sideline to sideline like it's nothing now. And if you watch every game, you'll see the same type of issues from every team.
Right.
So I don't know what can be done, but I think the lack of linebacker play and too much offense has changed the game totally. So I'm going to leave it on that, Voch. Stay safe, man. Enjoy Thanksgiving, brother.
Appreciate it, Dante. Coming back next week. I think a lot of that has to do with back in your day, some of your favorite players were like 27, 28, 29 years old, so they were seasoned. Nowadays, guys just go to college and come right out without learning the nuances of the game. That's why I like Senior Bowl players, because they've been around and they just know the game a little bit better, you know. But that's another talk for another day. That's a really good point, though, Dante. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks.
Yeah. Chatbox just in a countdown, just in a countdown. Countdown. Hey, y'all, listen. We got to go watch this Monday Night Football, man. You know what I'm saying? The Yahoo people want my takes on it. I'll have it for them when they need it. I was going to play Among Us tonight. Not going to play Among Us tonight. Forgot I had to do some work. But it is what it is. We're going to play tomorrow and the day after that. Then we're going to do some Thanksgiving. I'm going to download it on my phone. And then we're going to boogie and we're going to kill it. But watch my CeeDee Lamb versus Adam Thielen catch video. I'm going to drop a video tomorrow. I'm going to drop a video after that. I'm going to have a video done for Thursday. I'm going to drop it on Thursday. But I want y'all to be with y'all family, man. Be with somebody you love. If you ain't got no family, like, go be with your friends. If you ain't got no friends, go find people on the internet to be with. Just, like, show love to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Show love to somebody. Be thankful for something. You ain't got to necessarily celebrate the holiday necessarily, because I think what we do at my house, we don't necessarily celebrate the holiday, but we do use this as a mandated time for us to come together as a family, just love each other. All right, so just love each other and the world will be better. All right, VOCHLOMBARDI on the Twitter machine. Hit the like button on the YouTube and the subscribe button and the notification bell. Hold me down on that. If you want my early preview on these draft prospects, we have hour-long film sessions on them. Alex Leatherwood let me down. Marvin Wilson, I'm a big fan of him. Pat Surtain is there. Parsons, Basham, Panay Sewell, Greg Rousseau. Those long-form film sessions are on the Patreon right now. That's patreon.com/vochlombardiyt, and we'll be dropping some more. I'm dropping on the Patreon next. On the Patreon, we're dropping Dylan Moses, Sam Cosme, and it's looking like Quiddy Pay next. But the next film session to hit YouTube is Greg Rousseau. So y'all check me out on that. And as far as the Cowboys versus Vikings, we're going to look at some Donovan Wilson and some offensive line. One more time, because I don't know when the hell we're going to hear this again. You make me feel. You make me feel. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all. About to go watch this Monday Night Football. You heard? Y'all hold it down for the Doski, Woski, the Peasky, Wheeskis.